All right, everybody, it is Diet Smoke. I love Diet Smoke. I've got to tell you about the dankest, most potent THC gummies on the market. I'm talking about Diet Smoke's 420 Reserve Sour Apple Gummies. Sounds delicious. It is delicious. Exclusively at dietsmoke.com. Diet Smoke is hooking up with the Virzi effect, listeners, and hooking the listeners up. Okay, all you got to do is go to dietsmoke.com/Virzi and use the promo code Virzi, that's VIRZI, at checkout for 20% off your entire order. If you're unsure about gummies and just want to test it out, they'll send you a free 4-pack, guys. A 4-pack of gummies for free. You test it out, and if you don't like it, you don't pay for it, okay? Just click on the pop-up offer when you get to the page, and pay a couple of bucks for shipping. That's all you have to do, and they will send you 4, okay? If you don't absolutely love the products, which I know you're gonna, they'll either send you something you do love or give you a refund. So all you got to do is put in Virzi, and you get 20% off when you check out. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You guys know that I'm not drinking a lot, okay? And I don't like to get super, super high. Diet Smoke, it gives you what you need. It's just a nice, you could get it at different levels, but it's just a nice, relaxed high, and you could take it to however you want to. The flavors are delicious, so get it at dietsmoke.com/Virzi, and we are giving our listeners 20% off. Those guys are awesome over there. You're going to love it, and if you don't, they'll do something for you or give you a full refund. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys listening to episode 574. Before I get into today's episode, I just want to thank everybody, man, seriously, who came out to Utah. And I sold more tickets in Utah than I ever have before. Thank you guys so much. Also, the Denver Comedy Works was everything that I heard it would be. I want to thank you guys for coming out at a 6 p.m. show in Denver when the Nuggets had a fucking playoff game at home. Thank you guys. It was amazing. Next week, I'm going to be, this week, guys, this Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be in Austin at the Vulcan Gas Company. I'll be doing a show Friday, Saturday, 2 shows Saturday. I'm going to check out Rogan's new room, which I'm really excited about. And the weekend after, I'll be in the New York Comedy Club at the new club in Stamford, Connecticut. I'm going to a ton of places in May. I'm going to be in Raleigh and Charlotte and all that. You could check paulvirzi.com. But now I want to introduce my guest that I'm really excited to have here. A buddy that I met a long time ago in Baltimore. My man Stavi, baby, is in the building. Stavros Halkias.
You nailed it.
Nailed it, right? Another Greek, dude.
That's right.
Another Greek. Dude, I got to tell you something. Between you, Giannis, myself, we got some Greeks in the game, and it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice, you know.
I like that you're starting to claim Greek now that it's convenient. Because you were Italian up until 6 months ago.
Well, Giannis still gets mad at me.
Yeah.
No, Giannis to this day is like, how come you don't? But there's a reason. There's a reason. The reason is my Sicilian father was nuts with it.
Yeah.
Like, we're better.
Right.
Sicilian's better than Italian.
Right.
And my mother rebelled against Greek because my yaya was too hard on it.
Right.
My yaya went so hard with Greek, telling my mother Greek was everything.
Yeah.
And they battled. Because my mom had a sister.
Of course.
So my mom was like the first one. So they went harder on her.
I love it, yeah.
So she was like, you know what, chill with your Greek. So she didn't put it on to me. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah, like my grandmother went hard. Everything Greek is the best. And my mom was like, let's cool it.
Let's chill out.
And I had this dad with like the chains.
And she rebelled and went with a Sicilian. To her, that was like dating a black guy. Was a Sicilian. It was like that's as far as she was willing to go.
Yo, it's
to
funny.
piss off her parents.
You want to laugh? Dude, it's so funny you said that. The first time, this is a true story.
Yeah.
The first time my Greek grandparents, my yaya and my papuli, met.
Yeah.
When the Sicilian grandparents came to the house, my grandmother, my yaya, just drifted off in a room, and my mom was looking for her, and she was crying. She met them, and she was crying. She saw them and just saw the Italian, and like I think that
How
was
racist you have to be like, these Italians are too not white. They're too different from Greeks.
Dude,
it is like we are
so close.
a mile away.
Dude, I think the realization when they opened the door and just saw that it wasn't Greek, the realization hit them.
Yeah.
And my grandmother just went in a room and was weeping.
I mean, imagine if a Chinese guy popped out. Like, what she would have jumped out the window. An Italian. I mean, they're this. You can't even tell until you start opening your mouth.
It's so close.
That's fucking.
It's so
That's
close.
incredible, dude. How stupid Greek people are.
Dude, it's so close.
Yeah. You couldn't pick a more indistinguishable type of person.
You would have thought that it was a completely different, species.
Like an Inuit person. Some guy out of a fucking igloo was trying to feed her cold fish.
That's fucking great. Dude, the first time I met you.
Yes.
Was at Magooby's.
Magooby's Joke House. I remember. Do you remember what it was? I remember it.
It was. Wait a minute. It was. I think. Dude, this is so.
This is how long ago it was.
You were hosting.
I was hosting.
I was featuring. And Matt Reese was headlining.
Yes, dude.
And I remember Joe Matt Reese goes, "Oh, dude, this guy hosted. He's got this really funny joke." Which was, dude, it was a joke where you said, "I broke up with my girlfriend."
Oh yeah.
And you go, and all I'm thinking is, as she's breaking up with me, I'm thinking, "Good for her." And dude, I remember I would tell people that. I remember, and they're like, "That is so funny." And then we smoked a cigar. We smoked a cigar. Not Baltimore though. It's like the outskirts, right?
It was Timonium. I mean, it's there. It's the suburbs. Towson, I believe, is where we were.
Yeah.
Towson,
and then you moved to Queens. How long ago?
9 years ago.
So you've been in New York 9 years.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
So at Magooby's must have been 11 years ago, dude.
Dude, that's a
like 10, 11 years ago.
I remember when you first got here, you were just trying to get your bearings, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm living out here." I think you were dating someone. You were just trying to figure.
It was horrible. My life was atrocious. It was fucking. I had broken up with somebody, and it wasn't going good. And it's like I had just come from Baltimore, where, right before you move to New York, you have this false sense of. Like you're the man, right? Because you're in some shitty city, right? And you're the best comic in the city.
Well, you were the man there,
exactly.
And you got,
and then you come to New York, and it's like no one gives a fuck about you,
dude.
First of all, you suck at comedy. You think you're awesome,
right?
And then you're like, oh, I have 4 good jokes.
I was gonna say you got like 6 dope minutes.
Yeah. Everything else is hack. You're fucking dog, And then any little self confidence that you finally had mustered up, demolished in 1 second. You know what I mean? After a couple check spots, after like waiting at the stand for weeks to get a Sunday guest spot, but getting bumped. You know what I mean? Just because, oh, sorry, Attel's going to, it's like, of course, Attel, put him up, of course. But then it would get progressively, it was like Attel, and then it's like, all right, this guy that was on Premium Blend is bumping me now, too. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to say any names to be disrespectful, but
he's got somebody specific.
But I got a couple locked in my head. But it's like,
right here,
And it was, so it's like, I'm depressed. I'm not even living in a real room. I have the living room. I don't know if you ever went to my place in Queens where I had a fake wall put up in the living room, and I had a little 8x8 windowless room. Dude. And you could just hear everyone making breakfast, cooking, you know what I mean? Like fucking getting ready for work. And I'm just like laying there. I come home. It was a chore. You had no privacy. You had to beat off quietly. You know what I mean? You had to like, just slow little strokes to not be caught while everyone's watching TV.
That's the sign of success in New York, how loud you could be when you're jerking off. If you could jerk off loud, you're like, dude, things are going well.
Fully lotioned hand, I'm moaning for fun, just because I can. I don't even like to. I'm just...
When you're broke, you got a rag over your face.
You've got a silencer. You're using a pocket pussy as a silencer. I'm beating off into a hollowed out potato.
Sounds like sounds like a snuff film. But now, dude, the dopest thing was, and I was like, I would be doing spots, and I started to. That's kind of when I started. Like when you first came to New York, I was getting out of headlining like B rooms and starting to go on the road a little more. But I remember that when you guys hit that podcast, man, and you guys. You and Nick Mullen, right?
Me, Mullen, and Adam Friedland, yep.
Yeah, you, Nick, and Adam, you started that thing, and you kind of got on that train early. Like, because I remember being like, remember that shitty room the stand had?
Yeah,
in Long Island City?
Of course, the standing room.
Oh, my God.
That's the only place I would get work, and it was like a hallway with chairs in it.
It was literally like the worst stage like location.
Monroe was just on my podcast. I just started you in Stavi's World, and we were just reminiscing, because like, there's a handful of guys. Like, I saw Monroe there every weekend, we're just just doing horrible. Me and Ian Laura, you know, just like and you couldn't. There was no looking forward. Because it was a wall. You had to look side to side. There was no, it was insane.
And
dude.
If somebody went to the bathroom,
forget it.
Through the
Ruins
whole
the
thing.
entire show.
And I remember you going, yeah, dude, we're doing this podcast. And I remember like you guys were like early on the Patreon shit.
I think we literally were the first comedy podcast to do a Patreon because we had friends that were doing a political like a commentary comedy podcast. Our friends Chapo Trap House, they were doing it and they started fucking doing a killing. And this is like 2016, right before it was the election Trump hadn't been elected yet.
Okay.
And it was like, and so they kind of caught fire because they were like this big political show that like there was like a lot of people that were kind of feeling like younger people are a lot more socialist, I think, in America now, and they were like a socialist podcast. So it was kind of like people were like really paying attention. They were doing great numbers, and we had a lot of overlap with them. We were friends, and they're like, "You guys should just try this." And it just kind of like I remember I had a shitty day job.
Yep.
I was writing at a horrible website, and then I went on tour with Bobby.
Yep.
I got fired, and then I went on tour with Bobby, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to come back to New York." And
I remember you started
find a
opening
day
for Bobby.
job.
Yeah.
I remember being like, "Fuck, I gotta get." And then I came back and I talked to the guys, and they were like, "Hey, like, we're making enough money. We're making like at that time it was like $4,000 a person, but that was like
dude, that's like your bills, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so I don't need a day job. Oh, cool. We'll see how long this Patreon thing lasts, and then I just got very lucky and it took off. And I haven't needed a day job since, basically.
Yeah, and you know
since
what?
I got back from that tour with Bobby.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, though, I think that there is like two different types of people that have a podcast explode. I think you have the people that have a podcast explode and maybe not put the work in with the stand-up, but you already had. See, the nice thing is...
I hate podcasts. Like, I hated it at the time. I was like, fuck this.
You had
I want to do stand-up.
See, you had the game with stand-up, and then the podcast was a great launching pad for fans, but you kept working it. Because there are some people that have dope podcasts, but then they're like, you know, clubs will say, like, yeah, the show wasn't really...
Right.
But like a true stand-up with the podcast, and it's you kind of need both, and you're crushing, you're selling tickets, and that's dope. Now, you guys don't do that podcast anymore?
No, we don't do it anymore.
So you just do Stavi's World?
I do
your new
Stavi's
one?
World. Yeah, I do my own podcast, Stavi's World. They got the Adam Friedland show. They're doing their own thing.
Okay.
And I'm just I'm doing Stavi's World. It's like, you know, you got to come on sometime. It's basically just one-on-one.
Just chilling.
But we also do advice show. You know, it's like I realized like I stopped doing the show and I was like, fuck podcasting, whatever. And then after not doing it for like 6 months, I was like, it's kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of, and you know what else I realized? I was like, oh, guess I'm good at this because I always saw it as like we got lucky with the other show, and I'm gonna work on stand up until I'm just gonna work on stand up to like so that I can just try and get people from the podcast to come see my stand up.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then I went on other shows to like promote stuff, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, fuck it. And it's also good, you know, it keeps people engaged. Like, you want your fans to be able to, like, check in on you once a week. So I was like, fuck it. Let's just do it on my own where I can I do it in my house. So there's no scheduling issues. There's no nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, come by. Yeah. We'll podcast. I literally, like, get out of the shower, fucking dry my hair off. I'm like, all right, I'll be in. I've literally, like, greeted guests in a towel. I've been like, yeah, dude, just, you need anything? I'm just going to put some underwear on and we'll start podcasting. It's the best.
In your tidy whities.
Yeah.
No, but, like, but I think that's like the insecurity that comedians have when you're like, oh, I just got lucky with the first one. I don't want to do it. That's just, but it's like, no, it was also successful because you were good on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's easy for us to be like, oh, you know, you got in on, and we hit the lottery. It's like, no, it's like, because if the show sucked, like if the show, listen, granted, you got in at a good time, for sure. But it's not. If people suck, they're like, I'm not doing this.
A lot, sure.
You know.
But I guess I think what's hard for me, and I think a lot of stand-ups is like, you know, you do stand-up and it's like, people laugh or they don't. But when you do a podcast, it's like, who the fuck knows what asshole is listening to this right now? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they're reacting, you know?
It's true, and you gotta, like, and getting in here was huge for me. I remember Ari Shafir, he goes, oh, now it's the Virzi full effect, because I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say that I didn't care about the listeners, because I always had, like, audio. I always had, like, you know, not crazy thousands, but there was a group that were fans. But I did it from home. I wasn't on a consistent schedule.
I didn't,
Schedule's
everything.
And then pandemic hit, and that's when I was like, dude, you know what, man? Like, this is kind of, it's like, look, man, adapt or die. Like, I loved that stand-up was getting better and the specials were coming, but it's like, no, dude, like, if I can talk shit with you and just shoot the shit with a buddy,
of course.
It's like you said, like you're doing with Stavi's World, it's like, why not be like, oh, and then you plug your dates, and like, people are the best fans are people that come up to me at shows, I'm sure the same way you, and go, dude, I listen every fucking week.
Awesome.
It's
cool.
the best because they feel like they know you.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of the shit.
Sure.
Guys, listen to me, okay? I've been on, I don't think you, I just listened
What a segue. What a broadcaster, folks.
Yeah.
Speaking of the best, you could say anything right now.
Well, my fans know that it's delusional and it's the Knicks.
I know.
So, you knew.
Yeah.
Like, I told Stav on the way up here, dude, I was in the elevator coming up here alone. In the elevator alone, thinking of the future of what's going to happen, and I literally said to myself, you know, and it was funny. He was outside the elevator as it opened, and I had to tell him, I just was in the elevator.
Paul's locked in.
Yo, dude, I go fuck the Celtics, and then I started thinking about if we beat the Celtics, who we're going to play. I'm like, fuck them too.
No, it'll be the Bucks next. Well, or the Heat. That's the side of the bracket the Knicks are on.
Well, here's the thing: it's
Celtics.
Is he hurt? Is Giannis hurt?
This is hard for me because, like, you know, I have split loyalties. Because Giannis, I always root for Greece, right?
Of course.
So, but then my basketball team is the Knicks. So I'm an adopted Knicks fan. So it's like, I am so happy with I'm watching them fuck the Cavs up yesterday. I'm fucking freaking out. But then,
I love that you're a Knicks fan, by the way. That's incredible.
If Giannis were ever to come to the Knicks, it would be.
If Giannis came to the Knicks,
it would be the best thing in the world for me. Oh. I would be like, it would be unbevillable. I would get season tickets. I would quit comedy.
Could you imagine how that jersey?
Yeah, dude. No. I would quit comedy and just watch the Knicks all the time.
Oh, dude.
But so Giannis is hurt right now. I don't know if he's playing. You know, by the time this comes out, people will know, obviously. But like, I don't know if he's playing in the next game. But they need. I mean, they're down 2-1. It sucks. They're down 2-1 and they're in Miami still, so they could go down 3-1 if Giannis is still hurt. Now the Bucks should beat them anyway. They're a better team even without Giannis. But they got fucking rolled last game, and it's scary, honestly.
Well, I think you'll find out what's going to happen really the next game. I think if Miami wins the next game and goes up 3-1, it's probably going to be over.
He also bruised his back, but if Miami were to win, that's huge for the Knicks because they can beat the Heat, and then if the Celtics beat the Sixers, the Knicks have the Celtics number this season.
Did you see what?
It's kind of crazy.
Did you see what Magic Johnson tweeted?
No.
He tweeted what you said.
Really?
Magic Johnson tweeted, the Boston Celtics do not want to see the Knicks in the playoffs. It's just not a good matchup for them.
Not.
And we're 3-0 against them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dude, I took my son Lucas Friday night, okay? A fan of mine happens to be the equipment manager for the Knicks.
That's awesome.
And he hits me up and he goes, and he's a huge fan of Sam. And he saw Sam down there one time. And he was just like, but he hits me up. He's like, if you ever want to take your son. And I was like, look, I'm not one to take somebody up on some shit, but it's the Knicks.
Of course.
And it's the playoffs.
Of course.
So, like, you know, bring some fucking whatever you could bring, dude. That's amazing. And we go down 2 hours
like,
early.
Here's Julius Randle's boxers. I got him. This is all I could muster up for your boy.
We get down at 6 o'clock for an 8 o'clock game. We're on the court, and we're watching them shoot around, dude.
Awesome.
And then we go to our seats. And when I was telling you before we did the show, every bucket. I'm talking minute one.
Yeah.
Minute one, and the whole thing was, will RJ Barrett show up? And RJ hit that first three.
He was awesome.
Dude, he was awesome.
He was awesome both the games in New York.
Awesome both games. I don't know what's going on with Randall. They're saying he skipped a press conference. He got benched a little bit. They said it was his ankle, but he was also at 2 points and 2 rebounds. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't think, I think Tibbs made the right call where they were riding the hot hand.
Yes, I do too.
That unit was crushing.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing where it's like you keep the hot hand, and it's like if Randall's a little banged up, don't make him play. Like, I think it's a no-brainer. Now, Randall has shown that he can be a little sensitive.
Yeah.
So that's an issue, but hopefully it's all smoothed over and he's good to go, because like he is important, especially against these. Like, I know he wasn't playing great against the Cavs, but it's like he can get in there with Mobley. He can bang, he can bruise with them a little bit. When he's playing a certain way, for sure.
The last thing I'll say about this, because I know we probably lost half the fans. Yeah. But the thing is this, though, man. Like, I disagree with the fan was saying that this is not a basketball town. It's completely is. This is a basketball town. Okay,
it wants to be.
It's dying to be.
Yeah.
Because I was around when the Yankees won multiple World Series, and when the Giants went to the Super Bowl, and it's great. Dude, In 1999, when the Knicks went to the finals against the Spurs, I'm not joking when I say the streets were flood.
No,
people lose their fucking minds. We want it so bad.
Absolutely.
Dude, 1973 was the last time I wasn't born. My older brother Christian was born in 1973. The furthest we got, I saw, is 1994. We went to Game 7 of the finals against the Rockets. It was a tough one. We lost there. Starks. Oh, by the way, shout out to John Starks, who was at the game.
He's the
man. Saw my boy in a Starks old school jersey. So I just kind of jokingly, I go, John, and John, he just goes, hold up. And he doesn't let us leave, gets a pen and signs my boy's jersey Friday night. And my son goes, dude, my son Lucas, he's great. He just goes, dude, he yammed on Jordan. And I was like, yes, he did. And other Bulls too. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, because I got to tell you all about the dankest, most potent THC gummies on the market. I'm talking about Diet Smoke's 420 Reserve Sour Apple Gummies, exclusively at dietsmoke.com. Okay, reserve your sour apple gummies now. Now, if you're an OG Virzi Effect listener, and you've been a fan for a while, you know I don't endorse any product. And I don't, dude. That's real. This is not like copy. Okay, I don't endorse shit that I don't really use or really like or believe in, okay? But these gummies are a game changer. If you don't want to get crazy high, they're awesome, okay? And if you do want to get crazy high, they're awesome. With 100 mgs of THC per gummy, these 420 Reserve Sour Apple Gummies back a legit high you won't find from another edible. And let me tell you guys, the flavor, delicious. You guys know I love the candy. It's a big thing of mine. A little bit of a problem. The sour apple's crazy. Okay, it's a perfect mix of sour apple and a little bit of sweetness to balance it out. These gummies are sourced from 100% American-grown hemp, and each batch comes with full panel, independent lab testing, so you know exactly what you are getting. You pick your gummies, and boom, they're at your door in as fast as 2 days. Here's the best part. Diet Smoke is hooking up Virzi Effect listeners. Go to dietsmoke.com/Virzi and use promo code Virzi. That's VIRZI at checkout for 20% off your entire order. And it's 420 and the highest of holidays, so they're bringing back a special offer just for Virzi Effect listeners. If you're unsure about gummies and just want to test it out, they'll send you a free 4-pack. All you got to do is pay a couple of bucks for shipping. Just click the pop-up offer when you get to the page. Last thing, guys, no matter what, if you don't absolutely love their products, they'll either send you something you do love or refund your money back. It doesn't get better than that. You get to try out these great gummies, and they know you're going to love it anyway. But if you don't, they'll hook you back up. So there you go. And let's get back to the show. But no, dude, it was amazing. And to have the Knicks beat, like, listen, I love the NBA playoffs.
Of course.
A lot. But dude, when the Knicks are in the NBA playoffs and they're like legit, it's like they're deep, dude. Josh Hart was a big pickup, dude.
Josh Hart's the man.
Dude, he was a big pickup.
He's the fucking man. And he's so cool. I mean, it's really like, I don't want to, I don't want to put bad juju on the thing or whatever, but it's like, I love everything they're doing. I thought, the Brunson thing was unbelievable. Yeah. I think the only kind of issue to me is, as good a player as he is, and he's probably going to make All-NBA again, I don't think Randall is the kind of guy that, you can get to the next level with right now. I hate to say it. I think you have to kind of upgrade that position. He's kind of a strange matchup. Now, look, for certain teams, he's really useful. Like we said, it's a bad matchup. He plays pretty good against the Celtics. He's kind of a weird player, but I don't. And look, his defense has been better when he's locked in defensively. That's not a problem, and he does produce, but it's to scale it up, and it's the Knicks are they're doing the right thing, which is just get better, and that will attract better vibes. It'll attract better talent. Brunson was so huge. He's the start of it, dude.
It's one of the biggest signings that the Knicks have ever had.
And the culture's so good, and it's now it is conceivable. For the last 10 years, people Knicks just got to be good, and they'll get a star. It's feeling conceivable now. Even last time, the team that lost to the Hawks we were talking about, we both went to the game, they won.
Yes.
Even that team felt a little fluky, right?
That team felt like we're just happy to be there.
Happy to be there, but also it was the pandemic year. Randall was way better.
Right.
We got our third best player is probably Derrick Rose on a bum knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Derrick Rose was so instrumental. Now it feels like everything is kind of everyone who's important is young, is getting better. And like the other cool thing, Josh Hart and fucking Brunson, college teammate, they won a national championship together.
I know, that's huge.
That's so cool, dude.
And
like
that's so cool, so big.
And it's like this is the kind of thing that this could be the nucleus of your team for the next 5 to 8 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can build on this
100%.
and like a star that wants to get to the next level, and also that knows the importance of New York, that knows the importance of like what it would mean to make New York a championship contender. You will get so much more famous. Like Dame's maybe not the right fit because he's the same position as, you know, Brunson, but like a guy like Dame, a championship in Portland would be cool. It wouldn't even be close to just having a couple if you have a couple deep playoff runs with the Knicks, even if you don't get a chip. You will be a god. Like if you get a championship in New York, even as a transplant, and especially because of how much we love basketball and what a big you'll be so famous. Like people are going to start thinking about it that way. I think, and the next stars are going to want to come here.
I think so, and I think they were also saying with Dolan being quiet, not saying anything, with Brunson coming.
That's the key. He could fuck it up by like being all of a sudden getting meddlesome again. You know?
Yeah, I think.
But I think he's to his credit done a good job of like empowering Leon Rose and Leon. It's been a little bumpy.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Obi, but the fact that we could have had Halliburton, like he's had a couple bad decisions and a couple the what's his guy, the French guy contract I hated.
Evan Fournier.
I hated the Fournier contract when it happened, but it's been a little bumpy. But you see the proof now with how this team is going, you know. So
and Mitch Robinson, you know what? Lucky that he didn't go. Dude, offensive rebounds is and he's a silly dude.
Love him.
He's a silly like I was talking to some people. He's a silly fucking fun guy who like just is like always joking around, nothing too serious.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's it. I had to get that out. All right, it's my fucking show. It's my show. All right.
I'll talk hoops all day.
All right,
this will be the lowest rated show you've ever done. Like all these people want to hear bits, and we're like, I don't know, man. I think the second unit needs a little more shooting. It's just like
people, as soon as they heard Halliburton, they're like, I don't know what I'm listening to.
Tyrese Halliburton, he's really good. Look him up, guys. We passed on him to draft Obi 3 years ago.
The shit you do, if you guys haven't, I'm sure you have because Stavi's all over online. But dude, Ronnie.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Ronnie.
The Ravens.
Ronnie is a character you do of a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what it was last year. I was going through. I think you guys lost a tough one to. Was it when? I don't know if it was when you lost a tough one. I remember it was like a close, and you were just like, "Fuck yo, dude!" Yeah. I was watching it. That was great, man.
Thanks, dude.
That's a funny. Is that like a dude that's like a real dude?
That's what Baltimore's like.
That's
man.
A real dude.
Yeah, all the white trash talks like this. Oh my God, the fucking Ravens.
Is that how they talk?
They really talk like that, yeah. It's the O's are horrible, you know, and everyone's, you know, they're fucking dumb as shit. Like it's like all this specific kind of white trash, clearly racist but can't admit it. So it's like he's just a dumb, misogynist racist that loves football. You know what I mean? Yeah. And is always wrong.
And you've met that guy.
Oh, I know. I went to school with that guy.
You went to school with that guy.
Like that guy's all over Baltimore. A lot of people don't understand that, like how much of it is a joke. Like people will start agreeing with the character to me, and I'm like, no, because like the character, like he loves Joe Flacco. He's like, bring back Flacco, you know?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, we got to get Flacco back.
Because he's just associating a Flacco with the win.
The win. Like, and of course he's like, he doesn't like Lamar because he's a showboat. You know, wink, wink. We know what that means.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and then people will be like, yeah, you're so right about that. I'm like, no, you're a fucking dumbass.
That's so funny that they take it seriously.
It's hard because it's like, I was just doing this for fun, and the character completely blew up, and it's like, some people don't understand it's a joke. Dude, Lamar reposted the video I did about him leaving, and I'm going like, fuck Lamar Jackson. And it's like, I think he gets Lamar, because at the end of the video,
Lamar knows you're joking.
Of course. But it's still like I'm haunted every day being like, does Lamar think I don't love him? Do you know what I mean?
That's so funny.
I literally DM'd him after he posted. I was like, Lamar, it was a joke. I'm your biggest fan. You know,
did he respond?
Didn't read it, didn't open it, but never responded. So
isn't it funny how we think we could write to a huge athlete, and he's gonna be like, no, dude, I knew.
Yeah. Mr. Jackson, please. It was a joke.
You're like, dude, he'll respond. I sold out the weekend.
Yeah, dude. So
that's fucking, dude. I saw that and I was just like, because that is like the delusion of sports fans is really funny.
It's awesome.
Now, this is one thing I wanted to talk about. All right, I have no problem with alcohol as far as like having a problem.
Of course.
But I've been sober now for just a cleanse on a diet, going to the gym. I also found out one of those dumb stats where like I could do that where if you don't have any alcohol for 40 days, your liver like completely is like back.
Really?
So I'm like, let me do that. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I just had a physical, like, why wouldn't I? Let me do that. So I haven't had alcohol in like 46 something days. And dude, I'm watching how people behave on a different level. And I'm like going to the game with my son. I'm watching how people talk. Yeah. I'm watching what alcohol does to people. Dude, it turns people into, like, we were young watching a kid have fun.
Of course.
Watching, let's do a kid talking a little shit. I'm watching, like, grown adults with children.
Dead eyes,
just dead eyes, having, like, saying things that don't make sense. Yeah. And you're just going, like, dude, this is poison.
It's poison.
Dude, this is fun. Do you drink or no?
I don't really drink that much. I'm more, my problem is weed. Like, that's why when I'm trying to focus, I'm shooting a special in a few weeks. So I'm, like, sober just to kind of get in the right mind frame.
100%.
But I'll have a couple. I've become like a 2-drink guy, legit, where I'll just have a couple cocktails.
Drink like a gentleman.
Exactly. You have no more of that college shit where it's like drink till you throw up and then go back to the little mouthwash, go back to the party. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like once you get your wheel, because that's the thing. Once I get my wheels greased, then I'm like, now it's starting.
Exactly.
But I remember, this is how fucking classy Stavros is. Don't let the fucking hair. Stavros, when he first came to New York, I said, dude, you got to come up to my house in the country. And you did, and I had the heater outside, and I poured some whiskey, and we sat out there on the deck. We're in the woods. We're having a great time. But you remember what you did, which was really fucking classy?
I don't remember, no.
Dude, you brought, like, toys for my kids.
Oh, yeah,
like, this dude showed up to my house.
Well, you were nice. I mean, it was like...
No, they're my scumbag friends.
Yeah.
They just show up. They're like, whiskey?
Yeah,
you know, you showed up. You had a bag. You were like, hey, this is for the kids. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit, man.
Well, I mean, you were always so helpful, especially when I was, like, starting, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, and that's crazy to me. You showed me a picture of your kid, because the last memory I have is buying this kid a fucking toy from
when he was like 5.
Yeah, from like the baby section, and then you send me a picture of you and like a grown man, basically. You know what I mean?
Like he's tall as me.
Yeah.
He's like 13. He's as tall as me, and like I'm at his AAU games, and he's like shooting threes. But you showed up and you did that, but like you were also always like you would listen, like because you're like a generation, but you're like a generation behind, right? Like you're in your 30s, right?
I'm 34.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember we were walking around that shitty mall in Baltimore.
Owings Mills.
Yeah.
Owings Mills Mall we had Sarku, Japan.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember that shit. But I remember we walked around that mall and we were both, I was like, oh, this is the...
What movie did we saw? Some hilarious... We were killing time.
Did we see a movie?
Some ridiculous movie.
Who was in it? Do you remember?
Fuck, I don't remember, dude. And this mall was like a ghost town.
No, this was one of those malls where like Chris Rock back in the day had a joke about malls. He goes, there's the mall and then there's the mall people used to go to.
Yes.
This was like that dingy...
Dude,
I remember
half the stores are closed.
Dude, it was dark.
There was one store where you went in and the lady was like no one was there, and then a lady from a different store across was like, hold on, let me lock this one up, I'll come get you. She was working 2 stores. Because there was she was like working 2 stores. It was hysterical.
I remember I remember saying to you, I go, dude, like once you get past this phase here and you get to like, it's like a video game.
Yeah.
Like once you get past the level, you gotta, and you were like, yeah, I'm coming to, I'm gonna come to New York.
Yeah.
And you did, man. And it's awesome to see you doing well, and it's awesome to see you like having. Because what we talk about all the time, it's like people don't really have goals or plans.
Yeah.
But you kind of like once you get to a certain thing, you got to kind of have plans and goals instead of just running the hamster wheel.
Of course,
you know what I mean? Because you can get stuck in that shit.
Yeah, and it's like it's also you can get stuck just trying to be like funnier and like have just artistic goals. And for me, it was like I think it was. I mean, the pandemic, I think for a lot of people was a moment where you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
I think the smart people.
Yeah.
I think the smart people. I think there were some people that were like, "Oh, I'm gonna put my feet up for 2 months, for 2 years." But I think people that saw what was going on, smart people, had to adapt. And I fell into, before the pandemic, I'm just gonna get better at stand up. And people would hit me up going like, I remember one person was like, "Dude, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, you don't put stuff out there like." You're like really already known and famous. And I go, I'm trying to be better at stand-up.
Right,
and then when I started to have people in the industry like say, hey man, let's do a special, or like that bit's getting better, or dude, you're really developing, or you're learning how to cut out the fat, you're really learning. I cared about that, but made other things lack. And what it made other things lack was like, I wasn't going to be like, guys, I'm making eggs. You know, hey, look. But then I realized, I was like, no, you don't have to do, like, you can do both. And because people will be like, dude, like you said, we didn't know that it's funny in a podcast, right? Because you don't get feedback. But then somebody will go, dude, I was in my cubicle and I was falling over. You got it. That's like a bit. I didn't even know. Right? And then I realized, oh, doing both. You got to do both. And then I started taking social media, I would say around, I always did it a little seriously, but like my wife would go, what are you doing? Like everybody, like all these people are like on social media, what are you doing? And I'd be like, I'm building an hour. You know? But I realized like you could do both.
Of course.
And now like since the pandemic.
We want to think, comics want to be like, our art is so precious. And it's like, look, it is, but it's also, we're telling dick jokes. We have time. You could work on your act for an hour and a half a day, and it's still, you still got 6 hours, 6.5 hours of a normal work day. We're also like, you know what I mean? Like, even when I say I'm working on my hour, it's like, I'm thinking about it for 20 minutes, and I'm writing down a phrase like squirt locker. And then I'm like, yeah, that's good. We're good. We're done for the day. You know what I mean?
You ever say one thing? You had one tag?
That's a good tag. I'm done. I'm kicking my feet up. Like, that's the thing. It's like, we're fucking, at the end of the day, we are lazy pieces of shit that started doing open mic. For me, anyway, I started doing mics when I was 19 because I didn't want a job. And then I'm like, all right, well, what else do I do now? So it's like, it's not like, you know, it's like, you can do both. Like,
that's so funny. I just I just did a new bit that fits right into my hour, and it's a banger. It bangs. And I'm going, yeah, dude, it's coming. And
for 2 weeks, you're like, I'm done. Like you're writing you bit, and you just say it for 2 weeks. You're like, and then you're like, all right, I should start working again.
I had no, that's so true. I just had, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Mike? Right? We had 2 weeks ago, or whatever. I had Soder on, and Soder and I had like the same kind of thing with like stand up was always like the pedestal, right?
Of course.
But we were talking about that, and he was just like, dude, it's all about the new bit. And for me, it's the same thing. It's like when I get that new bit, and I'm just like, wait till this gets in the hour, and I know it's gonna bang, dude. It just does something.
Oh, it's the best feeling.
It's the best, right?
Potential's so much better than actually doing something. You know what I mean? Like thinking of the intoxicating possibilities of what could be is so much better than what it actually is. Even these jokes, when they're done and they're good jokes, now they're in your act. Like right now, perfect example. I filmed my hour in 3 weeks, right?
I was just gonna say, so you doing that? Not to. I want you to finish that thought, but you're in. I know where you are right now, because when you're 3 weeks out of a special, you're fucking fresh. You're ready, and by the week of, you're just gonna be a machine.
Exactly, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, I can't even consider. It's not about anything new. It's about cut it out, trim the fat, make it as get the rhythm down so that you have it so in your bones that you can kind of, something happens, you can react, you can be like, you have to just feel the hour. It's not about being creative. It's really about preparing for this one performance, which is the exact opposite of what stand-up is. Stand-up is being open to new possibilities.
Anything can happen at any moment.
Anything can happen. It's the best kind of stand-up is like, what makes it special is like, each show is different. Each audience is different. Being in the moment is so incredible. And a special really is an unnatural thing where it's like, if in an ideal world, somebody could film 1,000 of your shows and like kind of put it together, and it's like, and the best moments from each one are what the special is. But like now it's this weird moment where I'm like, well, I'm spending a lot of money on this fucking thing. And I want people, this is going to be like the record of these jokes. So I have to just worry about making it as good as possible. But it's not as fun as going up midnight, 15 people in the audience, fucking around with 12 premises is so much more fun than crushing in front of 1,500 people. It just is. It's fucking crazy to think about that, but it's like, and don't get me wrong, when the new bits land. If you get 5 new bits out of 10, you're like, this is the best. Now, if you bomb, you're like, I just wasted my whole fucking Saturday.
Right.
These jokes suck dick.
Right.
I could have been, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I could have been having oysters and hanging out with my friends and getting my dick sucked.
Yeah,
but no, I'm fucking bombing, and these are all trash. I'm a piece of shit.
I love how oysters and hanging out with the friends went to getting my dick sucked.
Well, you pregame with the boys.
I was like, dude, that's an unbelievable progression. Who the fuck are you hanging out with? Listen, sweetie, we're doing some oysters, but then come over in an hour.
She can be there too. It can be a group hang.
Stabby's got a fucking nice down fucking time. He's got a nice fucking bad set routine. No, but here's the thing too, like, and I learned this because I did it. I did it 3 times because of I count my the night of my. I almost count the night of my album was like a scary because that's the first one.
Sure.
And I had to get that right, and you had to do it in 2 shots. Then when we did the Comedy Central special in 2018, I was like, there was a lot of pressure because like All Things Comedy was like, yeah, man, we're gonna put some money up, but like we know you, and I was like, oh shit. Then with the Netflix one, I got to be honest, I was just on the road and I was really, really ready. Yeah. Like, and the thing is, like, you're going to do 2 tapings, right?
I'm going to do 4.
So that's it. So that's the beautiful thing. I was just going to say, if you do 4 tapings, some guy, like, I love that because it's like, you're going to be so loose.
It's more natural. It's what a comedy, like, I'm going to do 4 and I'm going to try and do a warm-up on the day before somewhere local so that it feels like a comedy club weekend, because that's what comedy club weekends are. You warm up on that Thursday, you don't give a fuck about that Thursday. Sorry folks, don't buy Thursday tickets. That's my little cheat code, industry cheat code. You warm up on Thursday and then you're ready to go, and it feels like a normal weekend, right? Like I want it to feel as close, and like Norm talked about, like how on specials they're so unnatural, people are so lit up, and even me, like I do a little crowd work, but I don't want this crowd.
Who'd you say?
Norm Macdonald talked about like how it's just not what stand-up's like,
right?
And like even like I'll do some crowd work, but I don't want the audience lit up like it's a fucking like it's Oprah. I don't want them as like a studio audience.
No.
So I'm working on like interesting lighting around the stage where it's like lower lighting and
That's smart. And here's the thing: on my first special, I did not like the lighting on my first taping. I go, dude, I'm seeing people in the balcony.
Yeah.
Like it was like an 800-seat theater.
Yeah.
It was an 800 or 900-seat theater, and I'm seeing people in the balcony because it was lit up like a studio audience.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. So the second show, they did dim it a little bit.
Yeah.
But all that shit you're saying is important. Another thing that's important too, and make sure then people are going to be like, really? You talk about that? And it is the air conditioning unit.
100%.
Okay, dude, the air conditioning needs to be a certain way. Dude, on my first one, I was sweating like I looked like Ewing at the foul line in the fourth quarter. Remember, it was just drip, dude. I was like, and it was like almost. I'm going, dude. Am I like this? Is like I need a towel.
Yeah.
So like all that stuff, lighting, temperature. People don't think about that.
No, it's
like,
also important.
But all that shit being comfortable. But if you're doing 4, here's my prediction. 2 of them, you're going to be like, I got to make sure I get the jokes. But 2 of them, you're going to be so fucking loose. You're probably going to probably throw those in there. And then you just put together the best, dopest hour. It's going to be great. And you're going to a great town. Yeah. It's going to be sick.
I'm excited.
Like
I'm really
that's,
excited.
And dude, how long are you doing stand-up? 15 years?
Yeah, I guess literally 15 years. That's crazy. Holy shit, yeah.
Dude, 15 years.
I never even thought of it. Yeah. Yeah, because I was 34 when I started when I was 19.
I'm a little over 20. And it's just like, once you get to that point, it's just a matter of going out, having fun, and executing it. And just being like chill with it. Like, it's all kind of up here.
Yeah.
It's like, and listen, man, the great ones show up. You're going to show up. There's a guy that goes, 0 for fucking 18 in the finals. And then there's a guy that starts knocking down shots. Shout out to RJ Barrett.
He was fucking awesome.
Everybody said he needed to do it, and he did it. He did it in the moment. Sorry, I had to bring the Knicks.
Of course.
I'll just keep bringing the Knicks in. Yeah.
It's a thrill ride. Yeah.
It's no, dude, but that's amazing. And dude, 15 years and you're doing your first. This is your first special?
Second.
So you did a crowd work one, right?
No, I did one. I did a YouTube special in June, live at the Lodge Room. Yeah.
Last June?
Last June.
Oh shit! I thought you did a crowd work one.
No, I put out a crowd work one a couple months ago just for fun.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Check that out if you guys want. On my YouTube channel, I really work on my YouTube channel a lot, but it's kind of like I kind of see it as like advertising for the show, because these crowd work moments are fun, but it's like I really work hard on my material too, and it's like so I put out a lot of stuff so people might be able to find me, and then they come to the actual shows, see the actual stuff.
That's one thing too. Let's talk about the crowd work clips, because I started to I started to put. I heard everybody going like, "Dude, these comics got to stop with crowd work clips." And it's like, I think there's two type of crowd work clips. I think there's the bullshit ones where you go, "Hey, dude, nice shirt," and then you put that on YouTube. Or if there's a moment, and what I'm doing is like there have been a couple of like beautiful moments. Where like I think I mentioned it before, but I was in Chicago and I said, "Are you guys married?" And the woman just goes like, "Yeah, we are." And the way she said it let me know that they were having problems. I knew the way she said it. I was like, "This is so." I kind of jokingly, I was just like, "Oh, this sounds like therapy. Like you guys are going like marriage counseling." And they were kind of like, "No." And their best friend next to him goes, "Yeah, they are. They're and the whole place went nuts. And then we ended up having a back and forth. I'm like, I'll put that out because that's a genuine.
Of course.
Dude. If you get genuine moments like that, so that's why I tape all sets.
That's what I do.
But I'm not gonna do the bullshit. I'm not gonna go up there and look. I also like. I think you could also tell when somebody's looking for a. I do my hours. Hour 10, hour 15, and I never look for I never go, "Oh shit, I got to get a clip tonight." I never do that.
For sure.
And that hand to God, like I'm not. But in an hour 15, 4 or 5 times in a weekend, it's gonna happen. And to have it documented like that, and I know that that's helped because I watch your clips, but it seems like you're having genuine.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do more genuine stuff. I mean. It was an accident. Like I definitely was the same way about like stand up is precious and we shouldn't post this stuff. And then I wanted to put my hour out. Like I was going to self-produce an hour, so I taped every hour I did to watch it and make sure it was the best. Because this is like, this is 2 years ago. This is where I'm like, my shit's not going that good. Like people know me from the podcast, but they don't know me as a stand-up. So it was really important to me to put out the best hour I could. So I would tape everything and I would watch it, and I was like, all right, we filmed the special. I prepared for it. But in taping every show, I was like, kind of what you're saying, without realizing it, there's going to be, in an hour of stand-up, you're going to fuck around a little bit. Of course. It's going to just be, you don't want to seem so rote and so like you're reciting something. So there's going to be some moments. And I just hired a buddy. I was like, fuck, I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. I had 20,000 subscribers at the time. And I was like, I guess we should try putting up some crowd work just to get people used to the idea of, I don't want to at first I put out an old Comedy Central set I did. I put out a couple jokes I wanted to burn, and then it was like in a week and a half I was like, well, I'm out of jokes I'm feel like burning. So then I was like, let's put up the crowd work stuff. It just went fucking crazy. And I had a year's worth of taped shows that I just went through. And I was like, all right, I just hired a friend of mine to edit, and I was like, it was all an accident, and they did fucking so. And I would do this thing where I would ask, in the premise, I would ask a question related to a joke, just kind of naturally, just to get the crowd involved. And then I would go into my own joke after whatever they said. That's smart. And so I just had a bunch of those moments. And I was like, all right, fuck it, let's put them out. And ever since then, it's like I've kind of enjoyed. I mean, I always thought that's a good part. That's an interesting part of stand-up because again, every show's different, every audience is different, and I've just kind of gotten a little kick out of it. And now, especially when I'm doing new stuff, and when I'm working on new stuff, like I did a crowd work special when I came back after a break, and I was trying to put together this hour, and there was a lot of just natural when you don't know where the material's going and you're trying to figure it out on stage. It lends itself to some interesting conversations. Of course. And so it just happened that way. And like I said, I look at it as advertising. Right. It's not the thing. To me, it's not my act. It's part of it. But it's. I don't want to give anything, and I don't want to give the jokes away because I feel like the jokes still are precious. And it is advertising for you, and it also shows the crowd. It also shows the crowd what you can do. And if you come to a show, I think people like to know that when they come to a show, anything can happen. I'd like to buy a ticket to that. Like I'm gonna go see one of my favorite comedians. And dude, they're gonna go off script, and they're gonna fucking. Chance we're gonna have a moment. You're gonna have a moment. You're gonna see like how good they are, how quick they are, or like maybe I'll be a part of the shit, and things like that. Well, don't fucking try to be. But that's the best part is like I also like that because some people think they're going to be a part of it, and it's like no, I'll destroy you, and I won't post it either. I'll just make fun of you. I'll ruin your night. Because you're being a dickhead. And so it's like that. It's kind of fun too, and it's never the ones who want to be involved that are good. At it's always like that couple that's like in the middle of something and not looking. No, they're not looking for. Like there was I just had.
I just had a woman. I said something. It was based on, people's mental disabilities, and a woman was in the front like this, and this comedy club has cameras from behind the comic, so you saw like I could have made a clip, and the clip probably would have went viral, and the woman, you saw a woman's body language. She just went like this, and she went like this the whole time, and she watched me like this for 15 minutes, and then I said something else, and she just goes like this. No, and I go, what? She goes, you're very disrespectful, and then I go, no, I'm not. And the whole thing at the end, she stands up. You see her stand up mid-set, gets up, leaves. Everybody starts clapping. The crowd's going, bye. My fans are going, bye. Then she gives a middle finger. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put that out. Yeah. It's like, I don't want a clip like that.
Exactly.
I don't want that. Listen, it was a great moment. She got destroyed. Not only did I destroy, the crowd destroyed her, but it's not something where I want to put out. But I want to go back to something you said. We all talk about, like, I don't want to burn stuff and, things, stand-up needs to be sacred. But I feel like industry kind of ruined that too. So if industry is going to fucking saturate, then you know what? I'll put out shit that I'm not going to burn. Like industry saturated this shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. And as much as I hate to say this, because I love stand-up so much, but there was something amazing about 7 to 12 guys getting an hour special a year. There was something amazing about that.
They all mattered more.
Well, it was just like, oh shit, dude, so-and-so, we have to watch it. It was like an event. It was almost like a pay-per-view main event. You're like, I got to watch it. Now, you're like, hey, dude, my special's coming out in a week. Oh, my special. And that's great because some of these people are deserving of it and need it. But if I don't want to burn material and that is not as sacred anymore, I'm going to put shit out on my fucking YouTube channel. Like all this YouTube stuff, and I'm not going to say it's new to me, but it's more serious to me now. It wasn't serious to me before. And now people are going, I don't know if there's a good thing or a bad thing, but now people are going like, yo, Virzi, you're fucking like, where's your shit been? And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, watch my special, but that's not how the world is working right now.
It's true. And I think you could, exactly. It's like you need to be more accessible to more people. More people are watching YouTube. More people are finding shit on social media. So it's like, it's not burning it. Like, for example, I think you put out a YouTube, even a nice little video on YouTube, it has the reach, if it goes well, it has the reach that like a Conan set used to. You know what I mean? Like I've had just 5-minute videos go viral on, get 1 million views on YouTube for it's just a moment from a show, and more people have found me from that than if I had done like a late night set or something like that. So it's like, it's just kind of like we have the control over how people see us now, and it's up to us to. It's more work, and it fucking sucks. Because it used to be you just get good at the art form. And if it's good enough, you get plugged into this system. But it also has its advantages, where it's like now you own everything. But you have to make the decisions on how people see you and what to burn and when to show what and all this kind of stuff.
And we don't have the industry going, well, we don't think that would work. Now it's like, well, I think it would work. And I'm the boss.
Exactly.
So it's like, I don't need you because that's kind of in the light I want to be seen in.
Exactly.
And that's a whole different thing. But what I love about you, and I always have, and is like you have this thing that's easy to see, and you said something on this podcast which lets me know that you have it, is like you have that winner. You have that winner thing where what you said before was you go, yeah, I felt like I didn't want the podcast to be why I was growing or the only reason I was growing. I like that I'm growing because of the podcast, but I want people to know that my stand-up is there, and you kind of got defiant with that, which is like me, where it's like, no, fuck that.
No, watch for sure.
But that's what winners, and here's the thing. Anybody who just listens to the Virzi Effect and is only familiar with Stavros for his online shit, this dude's a legit great stand-up.
Thanks, man.
And it's like, and that's the thing. So like, look back, because you don't want to be, and you're not, but some people don't want to be like, oh, you're the guy that does that. I would never want to be that. And you're like, no. And what's dope is people are going to see your stand-up special and see anyway. But there's a lot out there.
For sure. That's the cool thing, is that like the cool thing about this like last year is that people will just be like, oh, you're that comedian. That's what they'll say to me now. They don't know my name, but they've seen my stand-up online somewhere, and it's like, I prefer that almost. Like,
oh, dude,
I prefer that. It's like, yeah, you know me as a comedian, great. Come to a show, you might see a show. Like, I like that. I mean, and again, podcasting has become this weird thing where it's like everyone has to do it. And I do like it now. Like, I've come around to liking it. But stand-up's always a thing I love. And there's nothing. You'll always be chasing the high of like going into a room where no one knows who the fuck you are, and by the end of your 7-minute set,
you're killing.
You're crushing.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, you can't, if you get successful enough and if you try to make fans, you kind of lose that.
Yeah.
Because it was so cool to open for someone and just like, they're not expecting shit from an opener.
No.
And you crushed. Like, that's the best feeling. And
Dude,
so
that's a great
being
point.
an anonymous, kind of like just funny person they see on the internet is kind of close to that again. Because like the internet becomes this giant show where no one knows who the fuck you are, and when you win them over that way, it almost feels the same as like when you would just show up at a showcase show and crush or something.
No, that's there is this excitement of when you're a younger comic and everybody's there to see so and so. I remember I opened for Attell. I opened for Dave Attell at Good Nights in North Carolina. And they were all there for Attell. And I remember I fucking hit him in the face. And Dave came out and was like, oh, you killed, you know. And there's something about doing that where they're like, a handful of people know you. But you fucking hit him in the, it's like Rocky 1. Where like he's getting beat, but then all of a sudden that one hits him and the music changes. And Apollo knows. Apollo's like, oh, fuck, I'm in for a night. And that is a beautiful thing. But I like when you get like it was really cool when you get recognized for just like what you're the best at. For you know like at the and it was amazing like at the Knicks
beating
game.
off and eating chicken wings. They're like, you know, you're that guy who puts them away.
Dude, I saw that barbecue sauce on your chest.
That's definitely that. I'm definitely better at that than stand up, but stand up's a close second.
No, but we were at the Garden, and when everybody was filing out Friday night, people were filing up, and it was cool because my little boy, like, I got recognized a few times when one dude just walking up, Virzi, dude, so funny, and he's like, you're hilarious, and that I love your comedy. And when I hear that, like, I love your comedy or I love your special, that means more.
Sure.
That means more, but I also want people to see, I could be silly. I'll throw a clip out there. I could fuck around. And no, man, and dude, you're doing it. I'm really glad, though, you got your tooth back.
I know.
Wait, which tooth was it?
It was this one.
Okay, yeah.
Toothless for years.
You went toothless for, what did you go, 4 years?
No, like 2.
Okay, I remember that. And I remember seeing you at the stand, and I'm like, still no tooth. And you said the funniest thing stuff. He goes, I'm going to ride it out for a little bit. I'm gonna ride the front toothless thing out for a little bit.
Dude, I had a good run.
Oh, dude.
The toothless years were the best years of my life. I've said that before.
You have to. Are you interested at all in acting?
Yeah, for sure.
You are? Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm trying to get that going next year or something like that.
I'm really excited. Like, I got some acting things coming out that I'm really excited about, but you are definitely like, I could see you being a character actor that is really like, you know, and it's just like, I just see you sitting there, cigarette, talking shit, you know, the Greek guy with it. But I got to tell you, man, acting was what my fear was. And the reason why my fear was acting was because I had a bad experience with an acting class.
Okay.
You know, because the acting teacher took it like unrealistic.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, every day we're going to work and write a monologue. And I would go full anxiety. It was like sitcom acting.
Of course.
And the only reason I got in is like years and years ago, fucking Rodney Laney. Do you know Rodney Laney?
No.
He goes, hey, man, this class with Joanna Bexton, I could get you in and do it. And it's a sitcom thing. So because this is like fucking over 10, this is like 12, 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And I did it, and it was like a nightmare. And then I'm on a real set that like Judd Apatow is doing. Like I just did something with Pete's new show, Bupkis, that's coming out. And like, it's nothing like that bullshit.
Of course.
They're just like, no, like, here, be comfortable. We'll go through it. And I'm going like, oh, that whole fucking thing is just a show.
Yeah, of course.
It's just a show. But, dude, I'm having fun.
That's awesome,
Like, when you show up and you're like, and they're just like, hey, kind of make it your own. And I got to play something. I don't think I can say because it premieres May 4th. I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
But I got to kind of play something really fun. And when it was done, I was just like, this is fucking awesome.
This is sick, dude.
Dude, this is like, it's like, and then like when it's done, the take is over. You're like, dude, this is the shit.
Yeah, dude. No, I like it. Like, I want to do more of it because like, you get into stand-up, I think we all just kind of love comedy. At least for me, it was like, I love comedy, and it's the quickest and easiest way to get to it. But then, as much as I love stand-up, it is a little limiting, right? Like, people have to be laughing every 5 seconds. You can't really take your time and set certain things up. And to me, it's interesting to try and, like, either act. Sketches, I'm not super interested in, but a little bit sketches, where it's just like, you can just tell a joke in a different way. You can be funny in a different way. You can like, it's not, you and the crowd is awesome, but it's different when it's like you versus different characters, and you get to kind of just being funny in every way is what I'm really interested in. So I at least want to give it a shot. You know, at the end of the day, stand-ups will always be the thing.
I think you'll thrive in that.
I'd like to give it a whirl for sure.
Yeah, no, I think you would thrive in that because it's like you want to be silly every which way, you know, and something like that Ronnie character, like that's acting.
Yeah,
you're really like I mean, you're doing so good at it. People think Ronnie is a real fucking guy. They're agreeing with his racist shit.
Yeah. They really are.
You're like, guys, listen, dude, this is a
chill
fake.
out.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, this has been. Thank you.
Of course.
What do you plug everything, man? Plug everything you got, guys.
Yeah, I
listen to
Stavy.biz. I'm all over. I'm doing a big tour in the fall. I have a couple tickets left in LA at the special taping in Austin. I think there's just a couple tickets left for one of the shows. But more than anything, just go to my YouTube channel, Stavros Halkias. I put out a free free crowd work special there, and I also you can find my hour special has 5 million views on there from last year.
That's dope.
But just check it out. I also put up 1 or 2 new videos on YouTube every week, and then I'm all over social media. So do a clip pretty much every day. And Stavi's World, the podcast for sure. Which you gotta come on sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to. Check out all the Stav stuff, man. So great, and his special is gonna crush. You guys will be seeing that. Guys, this week I will be in Austin. I'll be at the Vulcan Gas Company. I'm doing 3 shows, 1 Friday and 2 Saturday. Then the weekend after, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, May 6th, I'm going to be at the New York Comedy Club at their new location in Stamford, Connecticut. I was there opening night with a bunch of headliners, and it was a great time. So get tickets to that. And then I have a bunch of stuff coming up. I'm going to Indianapolis. I'm going to Cleveland Hilarities. In May, I'm going to be doing, May 17th, I'm going to be at the Raleigh Good Nights. May 18th, I'm going to be at the Charlotte Comedy Zone. And then I'm going to Tampa. I'm going to Atlanta. And I'm doing a theater, guys. I'm doing the Panetta Theater in fucking northern Idaho. I'm going to be in Sandpoint, Idaho, dude. I'm going to somebody was like, my younger brother lives out there and was like, there's this theater. So we reached out, my agent reached out and they were like, we would love to do this. So it's at the Panetta Theater in Sandpoint, Idaho. I'm going to be there 1 night, 1 show because I got traveling after that. June 8th. In Idaho, and then we have Side Splitters in Tampa, a bunch of dates. Go to paulvirzi.com and check out all 3 podcasts and get them everywhere you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. We got the Virzi Effect here. Please keep rating and reviewing. The show continues to move up because I finally got a studio. And then I do every once in a while until football season, me and Bill Burr do the Anything Better podcast, and me and Bobby Kelly, guys. Episode 3 came out today. It's crushing. The Bone to Pick podcast with me and Robert Kelly. Check that out. Go to all the YouTube channels, my YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much. Shout out to my dude Stavy, baby, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.